podcasts out there, but only one with this kind of energy.
Welcome to EVP Show Recaps, Predictions, Sports. Let go, show recaps, predictions, sports.
In one podcast.
Welcome to EVP Show Recaps, Predictions, Sports. Let go.
What is going on, everybody? It's the EVP from the EVP Show, and I am live with a new show brought to you to the EVP Show channel and to DWE TV. DWE is everywhere. I have it on the layout and on the side piece. So we are representing DWE TV strong on this show. So yeah, welcome everybody. Like I said, I made the announcement about a week ago that there would no longer be a TNA recap show because I was going to venture out into reality TV. I think that it's something that is really, really big in the Twitter community. I see it everywhere. The Big Brother has been around for, this is season 28. So over, I'm not gonna tell you guys my exact age, but over half my life at least. But yeah, I mean it's been going on for 20. This is the 28th season, so a very successful franchise. And not gonna say every season's been great, but I have been watching since season 3. So I felt like, you know, I went to Miami and I said, you know, I think this is a great opportunity to bring something new. Obviously, we have sports and we have professional, we have wrestling, I guess some music to an extent, I guess. Bringing the reality TV over is a different aspect because there's a lot of people that like reality TV, whether it's Love Island, whether it's The Challenge, whether it's The Bachelor, whether it's Dancing with the Stars, whether it's Survivor, whether it's Big Brother, Amazing Race, Traders. That's another very popular one. Obviously, they have a Traders US, and also obviously they have a Traders UK as well. So I'm looking forward to it. I don't know. Before I went live, I was like, I feel nervous, and I don't know why, because obviously I've been doing this for a year. Been doing, you know, I've made over 1,000 videos. So I don't know, maybe because it's something new. I don't know, but it'll be fine. But just one quick announcement. I just want to shout out to everyone. Well, 2 announcements. You guys showed up and showed out Sunday. I told you guys if we got to 10 likes on the Sunday Scoops stream that I would do another giveaway this Sunday. So I am a man of my word. We did get to 10 likes. I believe it was my first stream ever to get double-digit likes. So thank you guys so much for that. There will be another 1-month free giveaway to my exclusive news channel. And I will give that away Sunday. Raymond won one last week. And it's just for a month. And then there'll be a new winner this week. So whoever shows up in the comments, I will put you guys in a randomizer, and the winner will get 1 month if you have a Discord. If you win, you want to give it away, you can also do that as well. Completely up to you. So I can say that's going very strong. Up to 24 exclusive members, I believe, at this point in time. So it just started on July 1st. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's giving me something to do. It's supposed to be secured in a Discord server, but obviously at the beginning I had a couple of issues with some leakers and stuff, but we got rid of them, so they're no longer in the server. If you do leak anything out of there without tagging me and posting it as your own, then you are banned from the server, and I will call your ass out really quick. So don't do that. Because you're paying for it at the end of the day. So I'm not giving you your money back. So anyway, last announcement, big time super gratification from me. Obviously first to the DWE family. When I started this channel, my first ever stream was SummerSlam prediction show. it's coming full circle again. SummerSlam prediction shows a lot less than 2 weeks away. We did Night of Champion, not Saturday Night Main Event last night. Had pretty good numbers on all the platforms. So shout out to everybody that showed up for that. But shout out to you guys for the subscribers. My ultimate goal back, I don't know, probably 2 months ago was to get to 300 subscribers by SummerSlam. I don't know if I get there. I would have to get like a rapid surge, but I have gained over 22 subscribers in the last, I believe, 11 days. So it's possible. I am at 250 currently. So I'm only 50 away, and I'm halfway to 500. So that's in 1 year. So thank you guys so much for that. If you are watching live on YouTube, please hit that like button. It helps me out in the algorithm. And like I mentioned on the show Sunday, if once I do get to 300 subscribers, there will be a giveaway, and it's well worth it this time. I mean, I know the other one's 25, but this is a real giveaway. 500. When I get to 500, that will also be a super, super good giveaway. It's my thank you to you guys for you guys showing up every day and all of that. So that DW is like, you guys are looking at Julie Chan. That shout out to Miami. He does all of my graphic work. And Greg does, I think, as well. This background is Miami. I think I might have found it on the internet, but Miami put all the logos. I love the EVP show over there on the left corner, the DW TV, and then we got DW up above. I may have to have him come in and do a little bit of arrangements on my, maybe put the barcode somewhere on my overlay, because I have, it's DWE on top of each other, but that's fine. It's just the way it is. So, but yeah, we are 50 away from 300 guys, and that is a $100 giveaway. So, to some, that's not a lot of money, but yeah, I don't see a lot of people giving away $100 for 300 subscribers. So, definitely want to, if you want to be entered in that, share the YouTube, get your friends in here. I know that most of you guys, enjoy my content. You guys show up and show out every night. I have 2.5 weeks worth of straight streaming. I do not have a day off. I don't have a day off. Next week, I would have. Next Saturday would have been my first day off, but I'm gonna be doing a WWE Season 3 Unreal recap show later on that night after Miami and them get done with DW Radio. So no off days for me until August the 9th. I will be streaming every single day from now to August the 9th. So turn that notification bell on and come and join me. And it's a buckle up. It's the SummerSlam season, and new show, brought to you by the DWE Television Network and also from the EVP Show channel. So I'm so gracious to be able to have these opportunities. I didn't have these before. So thank you guys so much for that. All right, let's get into it. What a first week of Big Brother, man. Wow. I am addicted to this show. I just want to say that first thing. What's going on, Tribal Kingpin? Nice job, Miami and crew on the graphics. Yes, Miami is. If you guys want a thumbnail, I mean, he might charge you, but he should, because he's fucking really good. But yeah, Miami and Greg, they do great. Greg, phenomenal with the marketing and promotional and stuff like that. I try to do what I can. With the streaming, I believe I stream the most in DWE. I don't know. Like, it's not a competition. We're all a team, but I'm pretty positive. I may stream more than anybody. I don't know. I got to be right up there with pretty much anybody. Every day is something. So I'm excited about this. So It's I'm not gonna say that I'm tired of talking about wrestling, but it's a break for me. Just like I really enjoy being on Kyle's show on Wednesdays because it's still wrestling, but I don't have to carry the lead. Um, so it's definitely I can kind of get out of the host zone and be able to be a little bit more myself, and I can really dig deep into the content when I'm on the opposite side of that spectrum. So, but thank you guys. Like I said, 250 subscribers. That is crazy. In 1 year. I've seen other. I'm not naming any names, but I know a couple of other podcasts that they are definitely trying to pass me up. And they've been doing this for 2 years. And they have a very big following in a specific group, but I think they're about 46 behind me. So let's keep them behind me. Let's keep the train trucking. Let's get somebody $100 at the end of the day. So help me get to 300, and then we get to 5. And that's when we're really gonna start talking, because that's when I'll be getting really close to be I'll be really close to being eligible to be monetized for super chats and super stickers, whatever you guys may call it. But all right, this is going to be a long show. So this is Big Brother season 28, week 1 recap show. So how this is going to work, guys, is Big Brother usually comes on Sundays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. It's usually on 4 times a week. This season opened up with the premiere on a Thursday, and it went all the way to this Thursday. So the show has been on for a solid week. I will talk about everything that has been on TV. I will tell you guys, if you like Big Brother and if you don't know about it, I don't know how you don't, but you can watch the live feeds on Paramount Plus, and I believe there's a couple of other ways. Maybe Pluto TV. Don't quote me on that. But that's where I learn a lot of stuff. Sometimes, when I work a night shift or I have to work or something like that, I will stay up till, I don't know. The last night I was up till 3, 4 a.m. Just watching the feeds, because I like to see the alliances being made, where people are going to be leaning with the vote. Thursday night is they're definitely going back to the old school a little bit of how they did last season. Now when you're nominated for eviction, you actually have 2 chances to pull yourself off the block. With this blockbuster competition that they do on eviction night, and when you're HOH, it's a big responsibility, because you could possibly have to nominate 4 people, which ended up typically happening to, I'm not going to say right now. We'll get into that when we talk about the HOH. But the HOH this week ended up having to nominate 4 people because one of her noms won the power of veto and took herself off the block. So how it works is if you don't know anything about the show, is they crown an HOH, which is considered the head of household. This game is a 3-month. You're locked inside of a house. I mean, you get to go outside. There's a pool. It's in LA. It's hot as hell. Food, amenities, like everything. I've applied for it. I've just never been casted. But you're cut off from the world, basically. You can't have a cell phone in there. Like, I mean, I'm sure there's clocks and stuff like that. I've never been inside the house, so I don't really know. But there's a head of household every single week. This year we're starting with 17 players. And then that head of household job is to nominate 3 house guests for eviction. And then once that occurs, then we move on to the next episode, which is when they do the power of veto. There's always the on the Power Veto competition, the head of household, the 3 nominees, and 2 selected house guests that the HOH picks one, and then one of the nominees usually picks the other. So there's always 6 people that compete in the head of household, in the Power Veto competition. And that gives you a chance to leave the nominations the same, or if you're on the chopping block, to take yourself down. This season, again, as last year, if you're still on the nomination block come eviction night, not the first thing they do, but before they get to an eviction vote, you will play in a BB Blockbuster competition. And if you win that, you come immediately off the nomination block, and then the 2 house guests remaining will go to the vote, and the people in the house is the one that decides your fate. They go into their diary room and cast their vote to evict. And that happens all the way to the end. And this is a 3-month game. It's very long, but it's super addicting once you get into it. So, yeah, if you haven't watched it and you like reality TV, this is one of the shows that I would really recommend. Hopefully I explained that to you. There is a twist this season. So I'm going to start off with that before I introduce the cast. So this season is like a back in time, basically like a back in time theme. So the twist is, for the first 6 weeks, you can go on, I believe it's cbs.com/Big Brother. I would have to double check that. And you vote for your favorite. So Sunday night, the next episode, they will reveal who received the most votes. At that point, you will go into a competition by yourself. And if you win that competition, you will receive a power. And who knows what the power could be? It's going to go back from any powers that has previously been in any Big Brother season. It could be the coup d'etat, the halting hex. There's just so many monster powers. The coup d'etat is like the really big one, where you can basically change all the nominations at the last second and nobody knows about it. That's a monster power. They haven't said what the powers were going to be, but the kicker is, if America votes for you and you go into that competition and you lose, you get a punishment, which could be anything from dressing up in a chicken suit to having to stay up till 5 o'clock in the morning to cook hot dogs in the backyard and serve everybody. I've seen all kinds of wacky stuff when it comes to the disadvantages. So I don't know who's going to win. I haven't voted for anyone. Obviously, I have my personal favorite, but since I'm covering the show, I'm not going to vote for anyone. I'm just going to see how it kind of plays out. I think I should probably advertise this also on Facebook, because the Facebook people I have in my Facebook community are all huge Big Brother fans. So I may, starting next week, instead of streaming to my X page, obviously I'm always going to be streaming to DWTV. I may try 1 week streaming off of my X onto Facebook. We'll see, because my Facebook friends, I have a lot, and they are all Big Brother fans, majority. So I think that might be an idea. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. But let's get into it, guys. This is Big Brother season 28, not episode 1, week 1. So how I'm going to do this, like I said, each week, every Thursday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, unless there's a time change, and I will update you guys if there is. Sometimes there's a double eviction closer to the end. I will go through the entire week, starting with, going to be a little bit longer tonight because I got to go through the cast and how the game started off. and then we'll break into the HOH and the nominees. We'll talk a little bit about alliances that have formed in the game. If you want to catch up on all the alliances, then tune in to get Paramount Plus. It's worth it if you like this show, because that's where you see the alliances form. They have cameras on them 24/7. I mean, there's certain rules. Obviously, they can't follow them into the bathroom, stuff like that. But they have cameras on them 24/7. So that is something you can pick up a lot of strategy and game moves for what those alliances are going to do. So let's get it started though. So opening night, which I was so excited for last season. I liked it, but I was a little disappointed in the final three. I wanted Morgan Pope to win. I feel like she played the best game. Vince was in the final three as well. He played a decent game, but he was a snake from the beginning. He made final twos with like everybody, like the first 3 days. He won a lot of competitions. I don't know what him and Morgan had. I don't know what to call that. I guess it was a situationship or something, because it wasn't a showmatch. But we're going to talk about a showmatch tonight. Oh my God. These two are acting like we're on Love Island already. Number one cardinal rule in Big Brother is don't get involved in a showmatch, because it doesn't always turn out the best way. So I think you're talking about Paul, Tribal Kingpin. Last season, Vince played. That was his first season. You're talking about Paul Abraham. He was in, I believe, I think I'll have to look back. I know it was season 18. He lost to Nicole Franzel in a 5-4 vote. And then I believe he lost to Josh Martinez as well. It may have been 16 or 19. I don't know. I think it was back to back. It was very close together. Paul Abraham was one of my favorite Big Brother players of all time. He did get robbed. I liked Nicole, but I thought he should have beat Josh for sure. But he pissed off the whole jury. And that's another thing. When you get to this portion of the game, there's a jury that ultimately decides whether you win that big grand prize. It changes every year. It started off at $500,000. I believe it's close to $1 million now for the winner. I think it's $750,000 for the winner. So it's a big prize. I would love to play, but I'm a little old now, so I don't think they're going to cast me. But they did cast older people. So Paul's great though. But you have to not only navigate an entire season, you have to be able to have jury management when it comes to if you make it to the end. Another one of my favorites, Mackenzie, from 2 seasons ago, the same season that Angela Murray played on, that's playing this season. She won like 10 competitions. But she got to the end and Chelsea just wiped the mat with her when it came to the speech and stuff like that. Mackenzie kind of shot herself in the foot because she kind of talked about she didn't really need the money, which you don't really never supposed to say that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, let's get into it. All right, so opening night, I'm going to go through the cast, give you their ages. This is going to be a little longer episode, and I do apologize. We're going to start off with the first house guest that was introduced. I was not a fan of her. My first immediate reaction was she is not making it past week 3. And I was, well, I'm not going to spoil the end of the show, but I'm just going to say that I was very spot on about it. Her name is Ashley Trail. She seemed like a really sweet girl, but I don't know. I think maybe she was there just to get some TV time. She acted like she just, I don't know. She was 24 years old. Hometown is Alton, Illinois. but she currently lives in Chicago. She's a bartender. Her strength is she's very social, energetic, good at making first impressions. Her strategy coming into the game is to build friendships first and avoid becoming an early target. Unfortunately for her, she did become an early target. Player 2 is Barrett Piper. This guy is a sleeper for me. I think he's gonna at least make the jury. I do. He's well insulated in this game already. With D and several others. He kind of reminds me of Vince from last year, but not snaky. He's just really social. I kind of like the way he plays the game. Barrett Piper's age 27, hometown from Benton, Arkansas, which is about an hour and a half from where I was born and raised. But currently he lives in Austin, Texas. He is a jumbotron engineer, whatever that is. His strength is he's funny, outgoing, competitive, strategy, forms strong alliances while staying under the radar. That's why I said I would love to get a pool going. I told Carlos this, like we should have done it before the season started, like where we all pick a winner, see where we end up. We did it. When I was doing I used to do this on a blog, like all the reality shows. Everybody involved would just pick somebody. Obviously, none of them watched the show but me. But it's a lot of fun to just have a competition and just pick who you think is going to win from the beginning. Hopefully, you guys didn't pick Ashley, so but we won't go there yet. So Barrett's strategy to form strong alliances while staying on the radar, which he's definitely doing that so far for sure. So house guest number 3 is Chuck Anawayu. Is Anya Wa, I think is how they say it. He's 27 years old. Current city is Dallas, Texas. He is a supply chain analyst. His strength is he's athletic and he is that calm and analytical. Strategy is win when necessary while keeping his threat level low. Up next is Drew Campbell, and I have a lot to say about Mr. Campbell. Drew Campbell's 22 years old. Current city is Temecula, California. He is a surgical dental assistant. His strength is he's athletic and personable. I can tell you one of his weaknesses, but I'll tell you later on. Strategy, relying on relationships instead of dominating competitions early. And he is definitely relying on a relationship. This guy is already 3 days in a showmance. And I'm talking about a big-time showmance. Hopefully it doesn't end up costing him the game. But if you've been watching on the live feeds, if you haven't, sorry if I ruined it for you. But he is 100% a showmance. Like already, they're already telling each other they love each other, and it's wild. 3 days. So, our fifth house guest is Haley Thogmartin. Love Haley. I loved her introduction. She's 29 from Wildwood, Missouri. Occupation is telemedicine executive. Her strength is organized, confident, leadership skills, strategy to blend in socially while using strategy behind the scenes. House guest number 6 is Jason Dupuy. He's 35 from West Hollywood, California. His occupation is a professional drag performer. He's a drag queen. His drag name is Selena Titties. So I love Jason. He's hilarious. They are hilarious. Jason's gonna probably go very far. Strategy to make everyone feel comfortable around him. He kind of did that, but then he kind of messed up a little bit this week with Angela. So house guest number 7 is Kamu Kirk. He's 32 years old. He is a professional MMA coach. He looks like an MMA fighter to me. Strength, physical, competitor, discipline, loyalty. Strategy balances physical game with a strong social game. Kamu is a big threat to win this game. I'll just say that. House guest number 8, Latrice Barrett. She is 57 years old, so I still have a chance to get casted, guys. I'm not in my 50s, so I love Latrice though. She's from Maplewood, New Jersey. Occupation: she's a boutique salesperson. Her strengths is she a life experience. Obviously, being 57, easy to talk to. She's going to use her age as an advantage rather than a weakness. And here we go with house guest number 9. You heard me talking about Rome earlier. His showmance after one day, Lyric Meteoros. Beautiful girl, pretty girl. She's 25 years old. Her current city is Honolulu, Hawaii. She is an attorney. And I will tell you, fun fact, she is the daughter of singer Glenn Medeiros. So if you guys know who that is, I do not. But she is the daughter of the singer Glenn Medeiros. Her strength is intelligent, persuasive, and competitive. Obviously, she's smart. She's an attorney, but I don't know how smart because, strategy, hide how strategic she really is. So if you guys are watching the live feeds, her and Rome are like full-blown showmans. Kind of reminds me of Cody Nixon and Jessica Graf. A few seasons ago, they now have gotten, there has been 4 or 5 couples from this show that have gotten married and have kids. But Cody and Jessica, they were like this too, like right off the bat. They ended up having 5 kids. They have 5 kids now. So, but she said on the feeds, I believe it was the night before last, she told Rome that she was falling in love with them. And she said she would consider leaving Hawaii because she can be an attorney anywhere after 3 days, guys. 3 days. That's insane. So house guest number 10, Mallory Arricchio, age 24, occupation rocket scientist. She's a sleeper pick for me. Very smart. Analytical, composed, problem solver. She lets others underestimate her because of her profession. She's very emotional too. She is very emotional. Melody Morris. She's a corporate game show host. She looks like Sydney Sweeney to me a little. Not Sydney Sweeney, but close. Corporate game show host. Her strengths in public speaking, confidence, social awareness, strategy, build connections across multiple groups. I think I told you guys wrong. It's not Drew that's in the show, man. It's Rome. I do apologize. Sorry, Drew. You're not the one in the show, man. It's Rome Seymour. Drew and Rome, I get them confused. Sorry. So it's Rome Seymour that's involved with Lyric. He's 28. He's a pickleball coach. His strength is athletic, outgoing, highly social. Drew kind of reminds me of Justin Bieber in a way. But Rome is deeply involved in a showmatch with Lyric. Strategy to be friends with everyone while remaining competitive. We have Taylor Brown, 27 years of age. Taylor is an elementary school counselor. She's compassionate, observant, calm under pressure. She wants to use her ability to read people to stay ahead socially. Yash Patel, was a big part of this week 1. He's age 24. He's a financial analyst. The background, he entered the cast shortly before the premiere. So he was a late addition to this cast. There was somebody else that was casted ahead of him that dropped. So like Yash was, I think he was brought into the sequester house maybe like 2 days or so before the premiere. So yeah, somebody had quit. So Big Brother teased it all the way up into the premiere. We had there was a lot of people thinking it was an all-star season. But there is going to be 3 surprise house guests. So let's introduce them. Well, actually, it's 4. One of them kind of goes pretty early. So the first one, she played 2 seasons ago. Definitely a fan favorite. They love her. It is Angela Murray. She didn't make the jury the last time she played. She played very different that season. Very she tells it how it is type of thing. She previously appeared on Big Brother season 26, where she did make the jury. She's known for emotional, unpredictable gameplay and fearless competition style. If you look at her, you'd be like, I don't think she would be good at comps. She is. So she's a sleeper if she can keep her emotions in check. The next surprise, if you guys are a Survivor fan, you're going to love the next two. It is Rick Devens, which I was super shocked to see Rick there. He previously appeared on Survivor Edge of Extinction. He is a two-time, he played on 2 seasons of Survivor, and he has never won Survivor, but he's a great player. He's known for big moves, idle plays, and strong competition performances. He's entered as the game as a premier twist. So this is where it gets a little tricky. Before the first safety power competition took place and before the HOH took place, it was revealed that Rachel Riley was going to be the 17th house guest. But before they crowned an HOH, Rachel Riley was eliminated. A velociraptor chased her into a volcano, which I think was pre-planned. I don't really think she was going to play the entire season. That's just my personal opinion. That's what this show's all about. So, Julie Chan Moonves is the host. I'm sorry, Miss Julie. I love you to death. You're awesome. Been doing it forever. I forgot to announce you. I will. I just did. So there had to be somebody to take Rachel's spot, and she just played on the All-Star season of Survivor. Did fairly well. Did not win, but she is a Survivor 45, season 45 winner. And my pick to win Big Brother season 28, I don't know how she's going to do it because she has a target on her being a Survivor winner. Dee Valladares. She won Survivor season 45. She's known for excellent social game and strategic decision making, and she's really good at comps. She entered because of Premier Twist and immediately become one of the biggest threats in the house. How will Dee fare? Did she make it out of week 1? We'll find out. We'll find out. So that is our 17th house guest, guys. That is our 17th house guest. So we're going to move on. So the season opened up with a time trip twist. 14 new house guests entered the house and competed in 3 era-themed competitions. The winner of each competition earned safety and could not be nominated for eviction this week. The winner of each competition would earn safety and unlocked one. So here's the thing. When they won safety, they unlocked Angela, Rick, and Rachel / Dee. They would each person that earned safety would unlock one mystery veteran player. Love the twist there. Did not get any type of for these safety competitions. I did not get the names of them. I didn't. I looked all online even after the show. I did not. But each was based on a different era of history and granted immunity. So the winner of competition 1 was Rome Seymour, who is, as I said, it's a good thing probably because he is, I don't know, I feel like he's got he's in an alliance, a decent alliance in the game, but being in a show match is an automatic target with Lyric. But he won the first competition, so he's safe. His reward was safety for the week, and he unlocked Angela Murray to come into the game. Competition 2 was the winner was Chuck. Chuck Anawaya, the MMA guy. His reward was safety for the week, and he unlocked Survivor icon Rick Devens. Competition 3 was Jason Depew, and his reward was safety for the week, and he unlocked Rachel Riley, which ultimately she got eliminated, and then she was replaced on Big Brother Unlocked, which is a show that they just kind of Derek Levasseur and Taylor Hale two former Big Brother winners kind of just and usually a special guest go over the entire like season and the cast, and they make picks on who they think is going to win, and dumb decisions and smart decisions and stuff like that. But once Rachel was eliminated by the Velociraptor that chased her into the volcano, which was I don't know, I wasn't really a big fan of that, but I was a fan of it bringing Dee into the game. I already knew she was coming, just like with WWE. There's spoilers all over the internet, so if you don't want to know what's happening, you don't go looking on the BB page. The Joker's updates, Big BB News, Reality Barbecue, all of them, they spoil stuff that happens if you're not watching the feed. So Dee come into the game. So Jason, Chuck, and Rome are safe from nomination and eviction this week. These three could not be nominated during week 1. So let's get into the mystery house guest HOH competition. After Angela, Rick, and Dee enter the house, the 3 veterans competed for the first head of household. So yes, 3 of the newbies earned safety, but it was going to be the people that was unlocked to come into the game. Angela, Rick, and Dee were the only 3 that could compete for the first HOH. Who wins? So the competition. The veterans, with assistance from the new players on their teams, had to build and stabilize a large fire-themed puzzle structure. The team with the fewest completed puzzle pieces became have-nots. So a little bit about have-nots. This is going to be a long stream, and I do apologize. Next week should be better because I didn't have to go through the entire cast. So when someone wins HOH, usually in a competition, if you're like the first 4 or 5 to go out in the competition, you become a have-not for the week, which means you have to take cold showers. You have to sleep on these crazy, uncomfortable beds. You have to eat slop. And then when I say slop, I'm talking about it is nasty looking stuff. So you do not want to be a have-not. Like it's miserable. It looks like for the house guest. So the team with the fewest completed puzzle pieces became the have-nots for the week. So the winner in our first HOH of Big Brother season 28, the icon herself, and my pick to win Big Brother season 28 was Dee Valladares. She became I'm just going to tell you a little secret about Dee because I follow on all socials. I love Dee. She's phenomenal. She did a video on Instagram. She did not want to play Big Brother. She had not even seen an episode of Big Brother. She turned it down and then changed her mind because the only reason she played on the challenge as well. Obviously, you guys know her with Johnny Bananas. It's all over the internet. But that ended. She's not with him anymore. But so she went live on Instagram and she said, she had never seen a episode of Big Brother. She had no idea. And so she said she binge watched like the first 2 seasons. So to come into the game as a former Survivor winner, it's 2 different games. But when you won a big game like that, and I believe Dee won $1 million or close to it with Survivor, you're going to come in with a target, and she immediately wins HOH. So the week 1 have-nots, as I spoke of, which you don't want to be one of them. Cold shower, slop, sleeping on uncomfortable. Sometimes they have spikes on in the bed, like it's so uncomfortable. Chuck, Drew, Haley, Rick, and Taylor are the first week 1 have-nots of the week. So Dee's strategy. Rather than immediately drawing a line in the sand, Dee decided to nominate 1 player from each of the 3 original groups, which I felt like that was a very good decision for her. Instead of, there was 2 people, which was Ashley and Barrett, that could not compete for HOH, or didn't get to compete at all. Instead of just putting them up immediately, she wanted to do the fair thing and just pick 1 from each group. Just 1 second, guys. I'm getting a Getting a text really quick. I'm sorry. All right. So like I said, I agreed with her strategy. I thought it was very well thought out. She was going to nominate one player from each group. She explained this gave her a neutral reason for the nominations and minimized the number of people who would feel personally targeted. So let's get to the nomination ceremony. As I said at the beginning of the stream, this season, just like last season, when you become HOH, so let me explain a little bit more into detail in case we have anybody new in here watching. We do have 218 people. Thank you guys so much. It means a lot that you guys are invested in it. Hopefully, I can try to bring in more of the Big Brother community, and maybe we can really shoot these numbers up for these shows because this community is huge. If you win HOH, unless you have a power, which America's going to do that for 6 weeks, you cannot compete the next week. So you have to strategically plan out who you want to nominate and then you have to surround yourself, make alliances and stuff like that with people that you think can win competitions that can keep you safe. Because if you win week 1, you cannot compete in the HOH in week 2. So D will not be competing. They will be doing an HOH later tonight, which will be shown Sunday. So I'll know tonight, obviously, because I watch the feeds. But D can't compete. So her original nominations. So there was one part I did not agree with. Yash Patel was actually in her group that helped her win, and she did tell him that he was safe. So I'm a little worried if Yash didn't go home tonight. I'm not going to spoil that yet. If he stayed in the game and wins HOH, is he going to retaliate? Because D did kind of screw up a little early by telling him, you're safe. Like everybody in her group that helped her win that HOH was safe. And then she ended up putting him on the block. So D nominated Mallory Aricio, Taylor Brown, and Yash Patel. Those are the original nominations. So the early targets, the target shifted over the course of the week. The initial target going in was Mallory. D and Mallory had no connections at all. It was like crickets on the feeds when they were talking, and just no type of chemistry between the two. Many house guests viewed Mallory as intelligent, unpredictable, and difficult to read. Mallory became super emotional when she was nominated. On the feed, she was crying, and all that. So, but she's going to be dangerous. So later, after the veto, attention shifted, obviously, towards someone else. So, I'm not going to tell you about who won the veto yet, because then that would give it away. So we move on. So as I mentioned before, there would be 6 people competing in the power veto. Obviously, the HOH competes, the 3 nominees, and 2 selected house guests. So the players competing in this power veto competition, which I call it pipes. I played it before on an app game or something like that. It looked similar to a game called Pipes. But the players competing is D, the HOH, the nominees Mallory, Taylor, and Yash. And then the 2 selected house guests to compete in the power veto competition is Barrett and Melody. Barrett told Mallory that he would use the power veto. Now, if you don't watch the show, if you win the power veto and you're not on the nomination block, you can use that power veto and take someone down off the block. But if you do, you do it early, you got to be really strategic with it. So Barrett really didn't want to win. This competition was really difficult. It was very, very well suited for one person. I'll just say that. So the power veto competition, unlike the opening competition, this one did have a theme set up. It was former Big Brother legends Howie Gordon and Dr. Will Kirby. Dr. Will Kirby usually does the jury roundtable towards the end of the season. They appeared as part of the challenge. Players had to correctly connect tubes to restore the future and repair the timeline. So that's basically how that worked. So the winner of the Power of Veto competition was Mallory Arricchio, which is one of Dee's original nominees. And that's what I talked about at the beginning of the episode. When you become that first HOH and when you have to put 3 people on a nomination block, if one of those people win Power of Veto, of course they're taking themselves down. I mean, you would have to be just dumb not to. You're asking to go home. You're playing for a big grand prize. Mallory killed that competition. It wasn't even close. It was perfectly suited for Mallory. So at the veto ceremony, Mallory immediately removed herself from the chopping block. So you know what that means. Mallory used the veto. Dee would have to put up a 4th house guest in the first week. Oh, poor Dee. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good for my D. So there was a lot of deliberation through the week on the feeds. It went back and forth. She considered to put up Melody, just because Mallory and Melody are really super tight. Mallory, Melody, and Lyric are pretty much all working together with Rome. They have an alliance together as well. So she Dee considered it, but D's in 2 really big alliances. And I feel like she's pretty well insulated. So as long as somebody from one of those 2 alliances win week 2 HOH, I think Dee will be okay. I do. I think Dee's making it to at least the jury. I hope she wins it, but it's going to be a tall task. Mallory used the veto. Dee nominated Ashley Trail. Ashley was a player that just very nice girl, but never really like socially connected with. She didn't have a group. She wasn't in any alliances. Dee did reach out. Like Ashley kind of screwed herself a little bit. I'm gonna be honest with you because Yash was the original target. And I think it was going to be really close vote. I really do. But obviously there's a blockbuster comp. But when both of these alliances said that they were going to keep Ashley, she went around and spread a rumor and went and told the other house guys, "Oh, I'm safe." Like, and she named everybody that said she was going to be safe. That is just cardinal sin number 1 of Big Brother. You just cannot. You have to keep that kind of stuff to yourself. So she kind of pooped the pot right there on that. Ashley became the replacement nominee because she had the fewest established alliances and was considered the least likely to create backlash for Dee. Ultimately, it was the right decision for Dee because you don't want to make too many waves anyway because you're having to nominate an extra person. So the final nominees, which will head into the Big Brother blockbuster comp that took place tonight before the live eviction, will be Ashley Trail, Taylor Brown, and Yash Patel. Those 3 will compete in the Big Brother blockbuster comp. The person that wins immediately comes off the chopping block, and then the 2 remaining, the rest of the house votes. Now, let me explain on the voting before we get there. When we are down to the 2 people that's going into the vote, they call one by one into the diary room to cast their vote to evict. I wish I could use Big Brother music on this stream, but I think I would get copyrighted. I would love to play that eviction music on here when I'm telling you guys who got evicted, but I think it would get copyrighted by CBS. So let's not do that. Don't want my channel getting shut down. But the only way the HOH votes is in event of a tie. So there could have been a tie this week. There was 3 nominees and Dee. So that's 4. Well, no, I don't think it could have been a tie. Well, yeah, it could have been a tie because one person was coming off. So Dee could have ultimately had to end up breaking a tie if it tied. So as far as the campaigning goes, Ashley spent much of the week isolated before beginning a stronger campaign after the veto. Dee quietly encouraged allies to keep Ashley because she viewed Ashley as a less threatening long-term threat in the game. And she also said that she told Camus that Dee told Camus that she felt Ashley would be the better person to keep because Ashley was like Switzerland. She had no one, and they could reel her in and bring her in for a number. So Dee ultimately that's the way she plays these games, is very strategically. But we'll see if it works out. Taylor, she maintained relationships across several groups and was never the consensus target. Yash originally was the original target, but going forward, which I don't know why, because he did help Dee win the HOH, so it was a little shady on Dee's part to put him up. Hopefully he don't win HOH because I think Dee might be going up. Yash campaign, respectfully, but struggled because he lacked a tight alliance willing to push for him. The feed watchers widely noted that he was liked personally, but didn't have enough strategic protection. So, we're gonna move into. I'll go over the alliances towards the end of the show. Because I'll have to go back and it's all spread out. So let's get into tonight's episode. It is we're going to start off with the BB Blockbuster comp. We're going to have Ashley, Yash, and Taylor competing in a competition. And how this competition worked is you had 2 minutes. And so there was 3 screens. All the house guests were shown on all 3 multiple screens. You had to go to each screen and you had to find the house guest that was seen the most on all 3 of the screens. And it got down to about 18 seconds. Julie said you have about 18 seconds left. Once you figured out what your answer was, you would come back to the podium, find their picture, and lock in your answer. The only person to lock in the correct answer and winning the first Big Brother Blockbuster competition of season 28 was Yash Patel. Will this come back to bite Dee in the rear end? We will see. So, the final eviction nominees are Taylor Brown and Ashley Trail. I think the only chance Ashley personally had of staying in this game was if it was Ashley and Yash on the block when it comes to the vote. So, first eviction. The first person evicted, and this was just crazy, but very, very unexpected, is Ashley. Ashley Trail was evicted by a count of 14-0. It was a unanimous vote. So Ashley, she was the first one shown opening night. Watching with a friend, I was just like, I just don't see it. I don't think that she is gonna be. I mean, you can't really tell from because they're introducing all the players, they're showing them at home and what they do. Very bubbly character, but once she got in the house, like when they were doing the safety competitions, like she was having difficulties, like adding and stuff like that and doing numbers. And this game has a lot to do with, there's a lot of physical competitions, but there's also a lot of mental competition. So I just didn't feel like Ashley was going to make it past week. I didn't think she was making it past week 3, and she ultimately was evicted 14-0. So after that, so I'm going to give you the week 1 house position after the eviction. I kind of made some separate charts. So excellent positions in the game is obviously Dee, but you could kind of look at that like, she just had to put 4 people up. We'll see. But yeah, Ashley, she She didn't cry. Like, I don't know. Maybe she just wanted to be on TV. Dee and Rick, they have a final two. They are both from Survivor. They also are aligned with Angela, Barrett, and Drew. It's kind of a misfits type group that is a huge alliance. I'll go over the alliances with you at the end. So Dee, Rick, Chuck, Jason, and Rome have, in my opinion, the top five in the excellent position and a good position in the game. We have Barrett, which I think he teeter-totters between the good and the excellent. Haley, Drew, and Angela. I think Angela could be in the excellent if she keeps her emotions in check. In the middle, we have Melody, Taylor, Lyric. I'm gonna say Lyric is on the bottom. Her and Rome, unless Rome and Lyric can just keep winning, that's their show, man. It's like they're not hiding it at all. They're just not hiding it. Melody, Taylor, Lyric, Kamu. I don't think Kamu's in the middle though. I think Kamu's going to be fine. Latrice, in trouble going forward. Mallory is still viewed as a strategic threat, and Yash. I think those, if Mallory doesn't win HOH, I think she goes back on the block. Yash, he's kind of aligned a little bit with some of the guys. So if he doesn't win HOH, he may not go back up. It's crazy because he wasn't even supposed to be in the game to start with. And then he goes on the block after helping Dee win HOH, then wins the first ever Blockbuster this season. I do believe they stopped Blockbuster around right before Jury or something around maybe Final 8, Final 9, something like that. We'll go through that each week. But yeah, it's crazy that he survived. I mean, he's the correct answer was Mallory. She was viewed the most on all three of the TV screens. So safety winners again was Rome, Chuck, and Jason. The first HOH was Dee. The initial nominees was Mallory, Taylor, and Yash. The winner of the Power of Veto was Mallory. The replacement nominee was Ashley. So the final nominees was Ashley, Taylor, and Yash. The Blockbuster winner was Yash. And the first evicted house guest was Ashley by a vote count of let's see, 14-0. So all right, so we're gonna dive into some more stuff, guys. Like I said, I'm giving you guys the goods tonight. All right, this is what I label alliances and house dynamics for week 1. You guys are gonna love this show. If you're a Big Brother fan, tell your friends if you watch this show because I break down everything. I am a student of this show. So one thing for me that's made Big Brother 28 so fun is that there isn't a clean House A versus House B split. Most players belong to multiple alliances, and several are feeding information to different groups. The alliances below are the ones that I have confirmed on the live feeds myself through the end of week 1. So the first alliance, and this is a power alliance, I put a star beside it, is called the Crossovers. And I kind of spoke about it earlier. And there is something a little funny going on with Dee and Barrett. Even she calls him a nerd, but she said he's her nerd. Dee usually does get involved on these shows. She did when she won Survivor. She got involved with Johnny Bananas on the challenge. And I don't know, are we going to see a show match with Dee? She said she didn't have a romantic interest when she was talking to the cameras. So, but in this alliance called the Crossovers, we have Dee, we have Rick, the 2 Survivor players, Angela Murray, Barrett, and Drew Campbell. This alliance is, for me, I feel like this is the one that all 5 of these players want to stick to. They want this to be the final 5 at the end. Do I think all 5 of these players are going to make it to the end? Absolutely not. I think Drew's going to get picked off. Rick is going to target. We'll see. He's got some protection. He's in 2 big alliances. Angela could be a big threat if she's able to keep her emotions in check. For me, this is the most influential alliance in the house. It formed around the 3 returning reality players, with Barrett and Drew brought in as trusted newcomers, and both were huge fans of Survivor. Their goal is to quietly control the game without making it obvious that they're running the house. So I made an internal trust ranking through this group. Just with this alliance, Dee and Rick, top 2. They both they're final 2. There's just no way they're getting away from that. Angela, Barrett, and out of the 5, Drew is the least trusted. I think he would be the first one chopped from this group. By the end of week 1, Dee and Rick had begun questioning whether Drew was sharing too much information with other groups. Their threat level on a 1 to 5 star rating is a 5. So the other major alliance is called the Red Corner. The members of this group is Dee again. There's Dee positioning her, and we got some comp beasts in this group. This is where I'm hoping somebody from the Red Corner wins the week 2 HOH to keep Dee safe. Dee was getting bored in that HOH room because you're up there by yourself and everybody else is down there, bunked up in rooms, and then there's the have-nots and all that, so forth and so on. So you have Dee, Rick, again, as I said, they are a final 2. I do believe wholeheartedly that Dee would take Rick and Rick would take Dee to the final 2. Chuck, the MMA coach, Haley, Chuck and Haley like each other, but they don't want to get Haley doesn't do the PDA on national television, but Chuck and Haley, I think after the show, could end up an item. I'm just giving my personal opinion. Again, that's what this show's about. And then Camu. Chuck is not the MMA fighter. Sorry, it is Camu. Kirk. Camu and Haley like each other. Chuck is with the most. But Chuck, Haley, and Camu have a final 3. So there's so many different layers to this game. It's so hard. If you haven't watched this stuff, it's very hard to dissect. The name comes from boxing, the Red Corner, which was come up by Camu, obviously, from MMA. That's the champion's corner. It's where the favorite of the champion stands. The alliance was created to bring in strong physical competitors while still keeping Dee and Rick in control. And what I love about this alliance is Camu, Haley, and Chuck originally started this alliance. And they suggested bringing in Dee and Rick. So, Dee and Rick didn't have to go to them. Camu, Haley, and Chuck went to Dee and Rick about forming this. So that sets up Dee and Rick so well because they're set up with this Red Corner alliance, and they're also set up with the crossovers. They pretty much lead the crossovers, but in this Red Corner, they were asked to be brought in. So there you go. So the goal is to dominate competition, protect the veterans, and stay hidden from the rest of the house. Although Dee and Rick are in both major alliances, Chuck, Haley, and Camu don't initially realize just how connected Dee and Rick are. That's why Dee and Rick are playing chess, and the rest are playing checkers, guys. Threat level is a 5. So we have the Court Jesters. It was formed the night before last on the live feeds. It's Jason Dupuy, Melody Morris, and Drew Campbell. So Drew is also in the crossovers, as I mentioned before. But I don't think Drew's loyal at all to the Court Jesters because because Jason told Drew and Melody that he wanted to go after Rick and backdoor him like it's a dream of his. And Drew went back and he went immediately to the Crossovers Alliance and told them everything that Jason said. And I think Jason was like fake something about his mom's death to Angela or something. I don't know. I didn't see all of that part, but Jason's probably going to be a target because of that. This is a smaller side alliance focused on information sharing rather than immediate control. Drew's involvement here is one reason Dee and Rick started worrying about his loyalty, but at the end of the day, like, I wouldn't have been because he's sharing all the information. But I can see where they're coming from, because if he's sharing their information, is he going to be sharing the information also that the crossovers are doing? So I can see that. Their threat levels are 3. Mama's Angels. This is Latrice, Rome, and Jason Dupuy. This trio formed naturally around social bond and mutual trust. While not the dominant alliance, they provide each other information and protection. For me, their threat level is a 2. I don't see this alliance doing much damage. Here we go. Here we go. Rome and Lyric. Oh my gosh. If you're coming out of a relationship, you do not want to watch these two, because oh my God, it makes you feel like I'm watching Love Island. Nothing against that show, but Lord help me. They are in love, and she's wanting to move out of Hawaii, become an attorney in California where Rome lives. I'm just like, holy shit, like 3 days, like already telling each other you love each other. That's a little soon, buddy. It's a little soon. So Rome and Lyric, they don't have an official alliance name, but Rome and Lyric quickly developed a strategic and flirtatious relationship. Their closeness became obvious enough that other house guests began noticing, making them a potential target later if it continues, and oh boy, did it continue. So we have Dee and Rick. As I mentioned before, their final 2. This is arguably the strongest relationship in this house. They compare notes every night, protect one another, and consistently make decisions together before talking to anyone else. On a loyalty 5-star rating, I'm giving them a 5. So there's a core 3. And I believe that all 3 of these will stick to this. It's Dee, Rick, and Angela Murray. Believe it or not, Angela. Within the larger crossovers alliance, Dee, Rick, and Angela have developed an especially tight bond. Jason believed he could pull Angela away from the veteran, but Angela remained closely aligned with Dee and Rick, while letting others think she was more flexible than she actually was. Angela's playing a way better game so far than she did season 26. So this is what I call the floaters. If you don't know who Rachel Riley is, look her up on YouTube. She is a shark. In her season, she played several different seasons. She won. She is the one that come up with it is a Big Brother all-time saying, floaters, grab your life vest. So these are floating players, which means they're not really connected in a lot of ways in the house. They're not going to win a lot of competitions. They're not really a threat. They're just kind of they're going to try to float their way to the end. I call them goats ultimately in this game, because you take a goat to the end. Sometimes you can beat them. Normally you should, but sometimes it backfired because the jury's going to be like, oh, well, you took somebody that had no chance to win this game to the end because you knew you could beat them. For me, these 3 players are Chuck, Kamu, which I don't know. I don't really know Kamu the floater. I'll just put him on this list. And Latrice. Latrice is definitely a floater. They had conversation with multiple groups and appear willing to work with whatever benefits their game. The person with no alliance in week 1, and without no shock, she is the one that was evicted week 1, is Ashley Trail. Ashley spent much of week 1 without a solid alliance. From the feed updates, described her as essentially unaligned, which made her an easy replacement nominee after Mallory won the veto. So another thing that I labeled is called the house. It's called the house hierarchy. Top positions. Dee and Rick both sit at the center of multiple alliances, receive information from every side of the house. Very strong. Angela, Barrett, Chuck, Haley, and Kamu, protected by one or more major alliances. In the middle, we have Drew, Jason, Rome, Latrice, Lyric, Melody, Taylor, and Yash. Well, Yash is not in the middle. He's invulnerable. I feel like that's Mallory and Yash. I do believe if they don't win, I think Mallory's gone. If she's a strong competitor, so I think she's gonna have. She reminds me of Kelly Jorgensen from last season. I think she went on the block like the first 6 or 7 weeks, and she won Blockbuster like I think it was 4 or 5 weeks in a row. They didn't get her out until the time they got her out was when she couldn't win Blockbuster. So Mallory reminds me a lot of Kelly Jorgensen from last season. Mallory is viewed as strategically dangerous after saving herself with the veto, while Ashley just doesn't have a table. She's gone. So the biggest cracks heading into our week 2 recap, which will be next Thursday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Dee and Rick are becoming skeptical of Drew because they believe he's sharing too much information with outside groups. Ashley knows she's on the outside and needs allies quick. Well, she didn't make it. Rom and Lyric are growing closeness. Very closeness is drawing attention, which can make them an easy target if another side power wins. Showmances never usually work out. No single alliance fully controls the house yet. That's the one thing that I do love. If you go back to Cody California season and what's the guy's name? Tyler Crispin and Casey Clark, their season, their alliance just steamrolled the entire game. I did not want to see that this year, and it was kind of like that last year as well. With Vince's alliance, they just kind of, they kind of ran through the entire game. But it's kind of split. It is kind of split down the middle. Not everyone is double dipping. I like that. Vince was considered a quadruple dipper last season by maintaining a relationship across multiple groups, making week 2. Week 2 is going to be especially unpredictable for me. We will see who wins the week 2 HOH. Got some more information for you guys. I broke it down into 7 different parts. So the live feeds, as I spoke about, you can catch them on Paramount Plus. They're on 24 hours a day. It will even show those people sleeping, which is just creepy. There was no footage from day 1 to 3. So again, the day 1 move-in, Ron wins safety, Chuck wins safety, Jason wins safety. Each earn immunity for week 1. Unlock the mystery players. Dee, Rick, and Angela. Day 2 and 3 before the feeds come on. Dee quickly bonds with Rick. Angela reconnects socially with both of them. Barrett spends a lot of time with Drew. Chuck becomes one of the most socially connected players, and Ron builds relationships with everyone. Several players later comment that they trusted Dee almost immediately. Big mistake for them. Dee's going to be a survivor and a Big Brother winner. Day 4, when the feeds began, the first thing viewers notice is that Dee already has strong relationships across the house. As I mentioned, Mallory, Taylor, and Yash were the initial nominations. Taylor handles the nomination calmly. She did handle it very calmly. Yash immediately begins campaigning, going straight to Dee, wanting to know why. She put him up when he helped her win the HOH. Mallory was a emotional wreck. Day 5, the strategic game ramps up. Dee and Rick, they spend a lot of time comparing notes. They discuss who they trust, who talks too much, who might become dangerous later. This becomes one of the strongest strategic relationships in the house. Mallory, despite being nominated, Mallory stays relatively calm and continues talking game with multiple people instead of isolating herself. Ashley, which was evicted tonight, Ashley Tell, by a vote of 14-0. She is, you can see her on my next thumbnail, made by Miami. You can see the eliminated across her picture on the thumbnail. Ashley has very few game conversation and isn't tightly connected, which eventually makes her easy to vote out. Mallory won the power veto. The entire house was surprised. I wasn't once I seen the competition. She's an engineer. And so to celebrate Mallory quietly begins rebuilding a relationship. D's problem. She needed a replacement nominee. So there was 3 people that was discussed, which was Ashley, Haley, and Melody. Ashley became the safest option because she isn't part of a strong alliance. We went through the veto ceremony. So Rome and D had a after the nomination ceremony, the renom. Immediately after that, every conversation toward became about the upcoming eviction and who is actually the bigger threat in the game. The major conversations that took place were between Rome and D. They said that Ashley is the easy replacement, suggests Haley would be the big move. D decides it's too early to make a risky move, and she is 100% correct. We're only in week 1, folks. Jason tells D he doesn't trust Haley. Separately tells others he eventually wants Rick out, which Drew spilled the beans immediately. Jason told Drew, and Drew went straight back to Rick and told Rick and D. Drew told D first in the kitchen. And then he went and told Drew. So Drew and Angela and D all know that Jason wants all 3 of them out. So if Angela wins HOH or gets a power, or Rick, I think Jason may be seeing the whole chopping block this week. Drew, he tells D and Barrett that Jason wants to target Rick, just like I said. This raises Drew's value with D and Rick, but they also wonder whether Drew is telling everyone everything they're talking about in the crossovers. Angela, she encourages Taylor not to let the game overwhelm her. She tells Haley she believes a large alliance is forming. She reassures Rick that people are trying to pit them against each other. Yash on the block. He won the blockbuster, though. Congrats to him. He promises Angela that if he stays and wins HOH, she'll be safe. He asks Lyric to help gather votes from Melody and Mallory. Melody and Mallory and Lyric are final 3 for sure. Tells Rome about his conversation with Angela as part of his campaign. So I labeled this a funny segment from the feeds. The entire house ended up in black shirts and jean shorts, with house guests joking about how they look like they had coordinated outfits on the campaigning. On day 8, Ashley begins campaigning harder after realizing she's no longer the primary target. Taylor grows more confident that she has enough support to stay. Meanwhile, conversations shift towards whether Yash should be the one evicted because he has few solid allies in Taylor. End of week 1 was Ashley, Taylor, and Yash. Yash runs the blockbuster. Taylor and Ashley final 2 nominees. Ashley evicted 14-0. So this is what I label, and I do this every season when I write the blogs. My biggest week 1 takeaways. D emerges as a strategic center of the house. Rick is closely aligned with D and receives information from multiple directions. Angela successfully positioned herself between groups rather than like season 26, becoming an immediate target. Drew improves his standing by sharing information, but that also makes some allies wonder how loyal he really is. Yash survives the block survives despite hitting the block because the house sees Ashley as the easy vote. Mallory's veto win dramatically changes the week's direction and keeps her game alive. I should also mention that some of the alliance names could change. It happens all the time. So let's move on. We're going to go to part 5. 7 parts, guys. So I label this popularity ranking. Hopefully you guys will like the way I have this set up. I'm just not just gonna say HOH winner, veto winner. Like let's deep dive into the show. Let's draw people in that haven't watched the show that may want to tune in. Let's start. It's so early on, you can catch up. Turn it on Paramount Plus. Go to Big Brother. Turn it on all 4 screens. Watch it for a couple hours. You'll immediately catch up to everything. So number 1 is D. 100%. She's in the best position in the house. First HOH rarely has to push her own agenda because others are bringing her information. That is vital in this game. If you are getting information provided to you and you're not having to just force the issue and you're already great at competition and great socially, D is got a real shot to win this game. She's a member of multiple alliances. She has her closest relationship is with Rick. But her weaknesses, though, winning the first HOH puts a spotlight on her, and she won Survivor. So, as a Survivor winner, everybody knows she's capable of winning reality competitions. Her allies are Rick, Angela, Barrett, Drew, Chuck, Haley, and Kamu. Her biggest threat is Jason, who has already floated the idea that returning players shouldn't be allowed to dominate the season. Number 2 is Rick. Rick has managed to avoid becoming the obvious target despite entering with one of the biggest reputations. He has an excellent social game. He constantly talking strategy with D, rarely mentioned as an immediate target. His weakness, if the house decides to target veterans, he'll be one of the first names mentioned with D and Angela. Closest allies is D and Angela. Number 3 is Angela Murray with 4 stars. She has surprised many fans by playing a very calmer social game than she did in Big Brother Season 26. Her strength, strong personal relationships, trusted by multiple groups, not viewed as the biggest threat among the returning players. That would be D and Rick. Her weakness, her reputation could catch up to her sooner than later. She is a hothead. Number 4 is Chuck. Probably the best positioned newbie after week 1. He won safety, strong physical competitor, socially sound with everyone in the house. His weakness could become a target once competition wins start to matter. And then we got Barrett. Barrett quietly built relationship without drawing attention. His strength is he's trusted by D. I think they're going to have a show match for the end of the season. Good conversation across the house, not viewed as a major threat. His weakness, if D's alliance is exposed, Barrett will become collateral damage. Haley, one of the better strategic thinkers in the house. She's in multiple alliances. She's rarely mentioned as a target. Her weakness, though, is some players think she is smarter than she lets on. Drew. Drew's game is in an interesting spot. He's trusted by Barrett, included in important alliances, and he is somebody that will spill their guts quick. The bad thing, D and Rick have begun wondering if Drew shares too much information. Then we have Jason, number 8. He has one of the best social games. I agree. His strength, everybody enjoys talking with him. He's connected, excellent at reading emotions. His weakness, though, he has already floated the idea of targeting the returning players of Angela D and Rick, which could make him a target if that gets back to them, which it did get back to them. Rome, I'm going to tell you right now, showman is his biggest weakness. Strength, athletic, social, nearly everyone likes him. Weakness, his closeness with Lyric is way too noticeable. Lyric, right behind him, 10. Her strength, she's very intelligent. She's an attorney. She's smart. Calm, good one-on-one conversations with everybody. Her weakness, just like Rome, could become a target if people see her as a part of a duo with Rome. Kamu, physical threat, good alliance connections. Weaknesses, he hasn't fully committed to one side yet. Melody Morris, number 12, well-liked, social, weakness, doesn't have much strategic. This game is about being good at competition, being good socially, and being very good strategically. It's 3 aspects to winning this game. If you're not good at all 3, you're not winning this game. So, I mean, Josh Martinez did, but there's not many exceptions. Latrice Barrett, number 13. This is my power rankings after week 1, basically, is what I'm telling you guys. Her strengths, excellent social relationships. She's seen as trustworthy. She's not in the center of any strategic conversations. I don't think she makes it very far. Taylor Brown, she survived week 1. She escaped eviction, was nominated. That's the bad part. She still lacks protection. She's not going to make it very far. Mallory, she's a sleeper. She's just got to get more numbers. Even though she won the veto, many house guests still see her as one of the smartest players. Her strength is proven competitor. Weakness, Her intelligence makes others weary. Yash, obviously, surviving the block. So I gave some week 1 awards. Best strategic player D, best social game Rick, best physical position Chuck, most underrated Haley, best entertainer by far is Jason, most in danger going into week 2. In my opinion, just my opinion only, is Mallory if she doesn't win HOH. So let's go to the next part number 6. We're getting there, guys. I know we've been on for an hour and a half, but we had to go through the entire cast. So I label this secrets, lies, and hidden information. Secret 1, D was playing the middle. D appeared to many house guests to be making independent decisions at HOH. In reality, she was constantly checking in with Rick and consulting members of the crossovers before making key decisions that allowed her to keep blood off her hands while still steering this week scot-free. Secret number 2, Drew was building more relationships than people realized. Drew wasn't loyal to just one group. He maintained strong ties with Barrett, D, Rick, and Melody. He also shared information across different groups, which improved his position but also raised questions about how trustworthy he really is. Secret number 3, Ashley wasn't the real target. Although Ashley became the replacement nominee, D and several allies viewed her as less dangerous than Taylor or Yash because she lacked strong alliance connections. Ashley being nominated was more about convenience and a desire to evict her, but unfortunately, sometimes that person that you really don't want to put up on the block is the one that eventually ends up going home. So, Secret 4, Yash never found his footing. Yash worked hard to campaign. He tried to build support through Lyric, appealed to Angela for protection, strengthening his relationship with Rome. Secret number 5, the veterans weren't playing alone. Some house guests expected D, Rick, and Angela to stick together. Instead, they intentionally spread out socially. D built relationships with newer players. Rick developed his own network. Angela connected with people outside the veterans circle. That made it harder for the rest of the house to unite against them. Relationships that were growing, and I just talked about this. D and Barrett. Barrett openly admitted he was attracted to D, and viewers noticed the two flirting. They were holding hands on the feeds. D seemed to enjoy his company, though it's still unclear how much was personal versus strategic. Now, you got to watch D because she will latch onto a guy and maybe flirt a little bit. She did it in Survivor, and I don't think they lasted like a month or 2 after the show went up there. Rome and Lyric, oh my God, Love Island, they need to go to that show. They become the season's first obvious showmance, cuddling, spending significant time together. Other house guests noticed quickly, making them a visible duo. Players who were hiding their backgrounds. Several house guests intentionally downplayed aspects of their lives to avoid standing out. Jason tried to keep his RuPaul Drag Race background a secret after Angela nearly recognized him. Mallory, Lyric, and Kamu also minimized or obscured parts of their careers during early conversation. The vote before eviction. By the end of the week, most conversations centered on whether Taylor or Yash should stay. Ashley as well. The majority gradually settled on evicting Ashley if she did not win Blockbuster, Yash if he did not win Blockbuster. Taylor had built a stronger relationship. Yash lacked a dependable alliance. D's allies increasingly agreed Yash was a safer eviction for their game. The biggest winners of week 1 was D, Rick, Chuck, and Yash for surviving. The biggest losers is Ashley. She was evicted 14-0. Mallory, she saved herself with the veto, but she still remains a big threat. And those are the 2 on that. So let's get to the final part of week 1. Hopefully you guys are enjoying yourself. I took a lot of notes. So this is what I call the house guest by house guest status report. I'm just going to go through each player. Angela Murray, position very good. Her allies are D, Rick, and Barrett. Who trusts her? Angela did a strong job of rebuilding her image after Big Brother 26. Many players viewed her as approachable rather than chaotic, allowing her to gather information from different groups. The biggest concern is that the House decides to target returning players should be a part of that conversation. I gave her a 4 on the threat level. Ashley has been evicted. She was a floater, and I knew she wasn't going to make it. Barrett, he has a strong position. Allies are D, Drew, and Rick. He's well liked, rarely mentioned as an eviction target. Good information flow. Weakness: if D's group is exposed, Barrett is going to be a casualty. Chuck, position excellent. 1, open and safety, avoid the block, build relationships across the house. Many players view Chuck as athletic but not overly aggressive strategically. D, Valadares, position best in the house. First HOH, directed the nomination, successfully adapted after Mallory won the veto, stayed connected with nearly every major group. Julie Chan Moonves, the host, has even said publicly that D appears to understand the game exceptionally well and is one of the early front runners to win this game. Drew Campbell, good position, strength is trusted by Barrett, working with D. Weakness, his habit of relaying too much information made some allies wonder how loyal he is. Haley, good position, strength mentioned in strategy conversation but avoided the block, considered intelligent, connected with strong competitors. Rom even floated Haley as a possible replacement nominee before D decided Ashley was a safer move. Jason, position is good. Strength is a 1, open and safety, very social. It's actively strategizing his weakness. Comments about eventually targeting Rick, D, and Angela began circulating to the house because of Drew. Kamu, middle position, physically capable of winning comps, connected to athletic players, still searching for a clearly defined core alliance. Latrice, middle, strong socially, not viewed as a threat, limited influence over week 1. Lyric, middle, I would say closer to the end. Good, she is smart. She's an attorney. Good one-on-one conversation. Growing relationship with Rome. If the pair become too obvious, they're going to be targeted. They are very obvious. Mallory, her position for me is shaky. She was nominated. She won the power of veto. She saved herself. Although she survived, many players still viewed her as highly intelligent and potentially dangerous later in the game. Melody Morris, in the middle. Her strength is building relationships, discuss creating new alliances with other players. Weakness, not yet in the center of a strategic power structure. Rick Devins, he has an excellent position. Constant strategic talks with D, widely viewed as one of the game's best players. However, some house guests had already begun discussing taking a shot at him if they got power. Rome, very good. 1, safety, built relationships, active in strategic discussions. He even suggested alternate replacement nominees to D before she settled on Ashley. Taylor Brown, position is, I consider that recovering. She survived the block. She received reassurance from D and Angela during the week. Taylor entered week 2 with the chance to rebuild if she could avoid another nomination. Ashley, she was evicted. Yash, I think he's on the bottom still. So end of week 1 power rankings is D, number 1, Rick 2, Chuck 3, Angela 4, Barrett 5, Drew 6, Haley 7, Rom 8, Jason 9, Lyric 10, Kamu 11, Latrice 12, Melody 13, 14 is Taylor, 15 is Yash, and 16 is Mallory. So that is it, guys. Ashley was evicted by a unanimous vote of 14-0. I will know later on from Twitter as well as the Big Brother live feed that I will watch later on tonight. Once they come back on, they normally don't put them back on until the show has been aired on the West Coast. So that probably won't be till close to midnight. But they probably will go ahead and announce the new HOH here in the next couple of hours. So I hope you guys enjoyed the Big Brother season 28 week 1 recap show. This is a 3-month show, so I'm gonna be doing this every single week, breaking it down the same exact way as I did for you guys. today. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. As I said, Ashley is the first person evicted, and we will see who gains power. Tune in Sunday night for the next episode on CBS to see who is the new HOH and find out. Like I said at the beginning, there is a BB time capsule. You can vote on CBS, and then you get to go. If you get the most votes, you get to go into play a game. If you win, you will get a power. Any power that could have existed in any previous Big Brother. It's a time capsule game. If you lose now, you will get a disadvantage. So it's going to see what interesting on how the power dynamics play into the game over the next 6 weeks. I believe Angela probably gets the first one, if I'm going to guess. We'll see if she can win the comp to get the power. I think that would ultimately help D and Rick as well. So I'm still sticking with D. Hopefully she wins. So, but thank you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you guys, like I said, if you know people that enjoy Big Brother and watch Big Brother, make sure you share this information. And shout out to the 259 people that tuned in for the first episode. That is absolutely incredible. Thank you guys so much for that. Once again, Ashley was evicted by a unanimous vote of 14-0. And we will not find out. I will not tell you guys until the next episode, week 2, next Thursday, who won HOH and who will be the next evicted house guest. Shout out to the Tribal Kingpin. He was promoting for me. Thank you so much. Out of all the possible outcomes from the time capsule, which one would you like to see come back? Personally, I'd like to see Pandora's Box and Vince or Paul come back this season. That is a great question. Tribal Kingpin. So from the time capsule, I would love to see Pandora's Box. And I would so love to see Paul. Paul did go on record saying he would never play Big Brother again, but a lot of people say that. Vince, I really, truly, I wasn't a big fan of Vince. I think that he played he got to the final 2. He ended up losing to Ashley Hollis, who was an attorney last season. I'm a big fan of her since then. She's very active on X, social media. I would love to see Pandora's Box, but I would love for it to be Paul, or Morgan Pope, or maybe Lauren Dominguez. She was from about 45 minutes from where I grew up. I would love to see one of those 3. The coup d'etat, it's a big, huge power. So Pandora's Box or the coup d'etat would be the 2 for me on Tribal Kingpin. Hopefully, you can, if you go to cbs.com/Big Brother vote, I believe, I think it'll give you kind of an update on who's in the lead. But the thing is, even if you get the most votes, you still have to go into a competition and win. Like, you have to be successful to get that power. Because if you lose, you got a disadvantage, which could mean you don't get a vote. You could be an automatic nom, or you could have to dress in a clown suit. And this game has so many great physical competitions. I'm so ready for the wall comp, OTEV. There's just so many great competitions. I'm so excited for the rest of the season and being able to break it down for you guys. So thank you for the question, Tribal Kingpin. With that being said, guys, this has been your Big Brother Season 28 Week 1 recap show live here on the EVP show. We're also live on my X page. I may experiment next week and just be on my YouTube, on my Facebook, or I may just add to my plan on StreamYard and just add Facebook to it, because I have a big Big Brother following on Facebook as well, and wrestling as well. We'll see. I don't know yet. I have 260 people, so I don't know. I mean, I don't know that number would drastically improve from that. But we're also live on my X and DWE Television X. Shout out to everyone from DWE Television X. Make sure you follow that page on X. Make sure you follow DWE Television on X. You can see it twice on my overlay. First up is the CEO himself, Miami the Great. Thank you. I'm going to give him a big thank you and shout out. He helped me make Sunday Night Scoops responsible. It is my #1 show. This may beat it if these numbers continue like this. and we can reach out more to the Big Brother community outside the wrestling community. But he does a show. He just did a show earlier, Inside the Mound with NFL Mound with Miami. Me and him will be back once football season starts for the EVP Miami NFL week recap show. We go through each week and talk about bets and stuff like that that you can make on the upcoming football games. His partner in crime and co-host and the HR of DWE, Final Boss Baby with 2 B's. Make sure you follow both of them. You can find them on Talk It Up Podcast. They do DW Radio every Saturday on Talk It Up Podcast. You can also find them on Twitch, on DW TV and DW Television. The World of Greg, the marketing and promotional director of DWE, he does a fantastic job. He is a great promoter of streams, so he deserves a lot of credit. We got 260 people. I knew it was gonna. I knew he's so good at it, but I knew the numbers were gonna be there at the end of the day because TNA is just bad. The early time, or way earlier time on Thursday, I just knew as I told Miami, I said, I feel like this is just going to be a fantastic idea. But make sure you follow Greg. He's fantastic. And him and Kyle the Man Anthony, every Monday, they have a show an hour before Raw comes on the air. It's called The Rundown. Make sure you guys check that out. They will run down the entire Monday night Raw card for you. Director Reg as well. Kyle the Man Anthony. If you didn't see us on the prediction show last night, Kyle the Man Anthony has his own show. It is Queens of WWE, where he breaks down everything in the women's division from NXT on NXT Raw, SmackDown. We will be back. I am his co-host. We'll be back next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern for the Queens of WWE episode number 5. Also, After Slam podcast on X and YouTube, Smoke Session podcast, and the Sports Jedi Network. That being said, guys, I will be going to my outro, and I will be back to tell you guys where you can find me on my social media platforms. Again, Ashley has been evicted, the first evicted house guest, by a unanimous vote of 14-0. Who will be the next HOH? Who will gain power? And who will we be talking about next Thursday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, being the second person to leave the Big Brother house? Make sure you leave your predictions in the comments. Who do you think is going to win? Who do you think is going to be HOH? Who do you think is going home next week? Let's really just deep dive into this. But I'll be back shortly to tell you guys where you can find me on my socials and what I have coming up for the rest of this week for you guys.
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
There are a lot of podcasts out there, but only one with this kind of energy.
Welcome to EVP Show Recaps Predictions Sports. Let go, Show Recaps Predictions Sports.
In one podcast.
Welcome to EVP Show Recaps Predictions Sports. Let go.
All right. Once again, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate the support. Hopefully this continued week to week. Hopefully I was able to not be boring and just give you just all the initial stuff. I put a lot of hard work into taking a lot of notes, watching all these shows, staying up super late sometimes, watching these feeds to get extra information, to break this down for you guys instead of just being a cookie cutter. This is who won HOH. I mean, I gave you guys several alliances. If you ain't watching the feeds, you're not going to know about them. So I'm trying to be very insightful and bring new viewers that have never watched the show, maybe intrigue them to watch it, and then you get hooked like me. So thank you guys for that. Where you can find me on my socials is scrolling across the bottom of the screen. All my links are in my bio. On X, you can find me EVPCJP. My YouTube page is pinned at the top, and once again, there will be a giveaway once I get to 300 subscribers. I'm at 250, so 50 more to go. Instagram at EVPCJP is a business page, but you can find all the videos Miami the Great and World of Greg make from my upcoming streams. I already have the SmackDown recap on Instagram, so it's already good and ready to go for tomorrow. TikTok at Brady the Goat. My YouTube is in my bio. Same thing. All the videos for upcoming streams. Last but not least, if you do watch this back live, leave me some comments. Tell me what you thought about the episodes this week. Who do you think is your favorite to win? Who you don't like, who you do like. Let's talk about it because I do check my comments regularly. But if you haven't subscribed to me and you can't find me on my socials, go to the search bar, type in at the EVP Show. I have over 1,000 live videos, about 500 short, couple pre-records. And so yeah, a lot of content for you guys to check out. I did put the last 2 Sunday night scoops on a bunch of shorts from that as well on there. So check that out. And if you are subscribed, turn that notification bell on because I will be streaming every night until August the 9th. Well, this coming up Wednesday, I don't have a stream, but I will be streaming with Kyle. I'm about to just go ahead and give you my schedule in just a second. All right, but like I said, turn the notification bell on. It will let you know when I'm live, which is almost every night. So what I have coming up next, tomorrow night. So night before Saturday night's main event, you can catch me live at 10:30 p.m. Eastern for your SmackDown recap show. And then Saturday, after Saturday night's main event is over, tune in live at 10:30 p.m. Eastern for the Saturday night's main event recap show. Sunday, back again for doubleheader Sunday, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern, where one person in the comments will win 1 month of membership into my exclusive news channel on Discord. So make sure you're there, 6 p.m. Eastern time, Sunday night scoops with the EVP, and come back later on that night, 11:30 p.m. Eastern, for the LFG Season 3 Episode 13 recap show next week. I'll give you my schedule so you'll be aware. Monday, I'll be back live at 11 p.m. Eastern for your Raw recap show. Tuesday, 10:30 p.m. Eastern for the NXT recap show. Wednesday, I do not have a show here on the channel, but you can catch me live on the DWE network for Queens of WWE with Kyle Man Anthony at 8 p.m. Eastern. Next Thursday, make sure you guys are here. This was a fun night. Tune in for Big Brother Season 28 Week 2 recap show next Thursday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Who wins HOH? Who wins Power Beta? Who will be the next to walk out of the Big Brother house and be able to get back on their cell phones? So 9:30 p.m. Eastern next Thursday, as we will see another person leave the Big Brother house. Next Friday, same time, same place, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, SmackDown recap show. Next Saturday, this is going to be an interesting one because normally I'm off on Saturdays unless it's a PLE. I'm going to wait for Miami and Final Boss Lady to be done with DW Radio. So it's going to be somewhere between 8 and 9 p.m. Eastern. Tune in to the WWE's Season Unreal Season 3 recap show. I will break down. I'm going to watch it as soon as it comes to Netflix. I'm going to watch it, and I will break down each episode for you guys, similar to how I did Big Brother. I have one pre-recorded on my channel, and then I did a Season 2 recap. So make sure you guys tune in for that, for the Unreal Season 3 recap show. That will be next Saturday at either 8, 8:30, or 9 p.m. Eastern. And then come back next Sunday again for doubleheader Sunday starting at 6 p.m. Eastern with Sunday Night Scoops with the EVP. And then back later that night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern for LFG Season 3 Episode 14 recap show. With that being said, this has been the season premiere. I've enjoyed it thoroughly. Hopefully you guys have as well. Big Brother Season 28 Week 1 recap show. With that being said, guys, hopefully you guys enjoy your Friday. It's the weekend, baby. And I will see you guys tomorrow night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern for the SmackDown recap. I am the EVP from the EVP Show. And just like Julie Chen Moonves says, love one another. But DWE is the only place to be. Happy Friday, everyone. I'll see you guys at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow night for the SmackDown recap show. Good night, everyone.